Good afternoon, early evening, everybody. This is Lorraine Alternative Homesteading. It's April 26, 2024. I think it's Friday. Is it Friday, everybody? I think it's Friday. I hope everybody's doing well. It's overcast here, rainy, drizzly, got a little bit cooler. And today, my rooster, Henry, I've noticed the last couple of days he's been walking a little funny. He's been sitting a lot more, which is very unusual. He's just a really huge bird, so at first I thought maybe he's just too heavy for his own legs. And then I realized he's limping a little bit, so his left foot, he's got an ingrown toenail. Henry got the spa treatment today. He had an Epsom salt and baking soda foot bath this morning and this evening, and I applied castor oil to his legs and his feet, and he got massaged. He did not like it one bit. I also cut that ingrown toenail. He didn't like that one bit either. I tried to wrap it in a bandage, and the bandage fell off, and he's kicking it all over, and he left the coop. But anyway, that's what my day was like today. In addition to researching how realtors rip people off, they expect you to pay for the brokers, the broker who brings the buyer, and then the listing agent. Why should a seller who's usually going to purchase another property somewhere else and have to pay all of those fees again, have to pay for the buyer's agents? Why shouldn't the buyer pay for that? And there was a lawsuit, the National Association of Realtors, and it won a multi-billion-dollar lawsuit just about that, how home sellers have been getting ripped off for years, and how the United States realtors charge more than any other place around the world for selling real estate. I just want to leave that. But anyway, I wanted to bring this to your attention. I spoke about this with Romola D a couple of years ago. I guess it was back in 2018 or 19, maybe early 19, before I moved from New Jersey to Kentucky. But there was a Manalapan, New Jersey police officer who sued. He sued. His name is Edward Hedden. He was a Manalapan, New Jersey police officer. And he sued. He was the plaintiff, and he sued the Township of Manalapan, the Manalapan Police Department, the former Chief of Police, Michael Fountain, individually, and in his official capacity as Chief of the Manalapan Police Department. He also sued, these are fictitious names, 1 to 10 people individually in his or her official capacity as agents or employees of Manalapan Township and or the Manalapan Police Department. Also, ABC corporations 1 through 10, fictitious names. So, what his lawyer did was quite smart, because there were a multitude of people involved in this lawsuit and in mobbing him in the Manalapan Police Department. Some of them could have been private contractors. So we'll read on, and you can see for yourself what happened to a police officer turned whistleblower at the Manalapan, New Jersey Police Department when he first went to internal affairs, and then he got all of this other stuff. So this was a complaint and a demand for trial by jury. I'm going to tell you, going to cut to the chase, it never went to jury. It's settled out of court, and there was a gag order. Okay, so we're just going to start from the very beginning. That is one of the results. So let's read on here. So, filing a lawsuit, who to sue? I just read who he sued. But the difference is he is a police officer who was working in an official capacity, who ended up losing income due to reporting what I'll be reading to you. Okay, so it's very different than a targeted person that doesn't work for the police department or that doesn't work for a corporation. Okay, so corrupt cops, fake incident reports, they're citizen informants too. So the plaintiff, Edward Hedden, was complaining of the defendants. He says, number one, the plaintiff was at all material times a resident of Monmouth County, New Jersey. Number two, defendant Township of Manalapan, which is, they're going to just call Manalapan, is and was at all times in the relevant time period a municipal cooperation and a public employer of the individual defendant, which is the police department. Defendant Manalapan Police Department, MPD, is and was at all times in the relevant time period a division and or department of Manalapan entrusted with, among other things, enforcing federal, state, and local laws and ordinances and otherwise ensuring the safety of the people and property within the jurisdictional limits of the Manalapan. This is, I mean, just to tell you, this is an extremely well-written, easy-to-understand lawsuit. And the lawyer was phenomenal. I mean, he was like a really good lawyer, nice lawyer. I actually spoke to him on the phone. But anyway. Number four, defendant Michael J. Fountain, at all times in the relevant time period, was the chief of police for the MPD, acting under the color of law. Fountain is sued in his individual and official capacity. Number five, defendants John Doe's 1 through 10 are presently unknown employees, agents, or representatives of Manalapan and or the MPD whose unlawful actions are described, referenced, and set forth herein. All are being sued individually and in their official capacities. Defendants ABC corporations 1 through 10 are presently unknown entities who may be responsible for the plaintiff's damages. And we all know who those guys are, right? Number 7, the factual background. The plaintiff has proudly served as a patrol officer for the MPD for approximately 21 years. He's probably there longer than most of the other police officers, right? That's a long time. Number 8, unfortunately, plaintiff's recent employment with the MPD has been mired by a systemic plan by Fountain and other members of the MPD's brass to rid plaintiff from the department in retaliation for complaints that were lodged against Fountain for improper conduct. Oh, it gets really good, guys. Wait till you read on here. Number 9, as a result of the incidents which will be discussed here in Fountain, has unleashed a relentless and personal vendetta. You know, that begins with the letter V. Vendetta against plaintiff, under which he has promised to find a way to have plaintiff fired. That was a threat, by the way. Number 10. As a result of Fountain's conduct, plaintiff had been subjected to unwarranted suspension and threats of baseless administrative charges, disciplinary action, and termination. Number 11. Fountain's actions indicate that he is hell-bent on terminating plaintiff at any and all costs, including fabricating accusations against him in retaliation for plaintiff crossing the quote-unquote thin blue line by filing a complaint regarding Fountain's sexually charged improper conduct. Number 12. By way of background, in 2016, Fountain, along with other officers, including plaintiff, created a hockey club. Number 13, the hockey club has close ties and association with the MPD and at times utilized MPD, which is the Manalapan Police Department, resources on Fountain's orders. So this chief of police ordered his guys, his hockey club, to utilize the Manalapan Police Department resources, ordering them to do that. Number 14, on March 9, 10, 11 of 2018, and this is 2018, guys. This is when the creepos medically kidnapped me. And also, Blondie, big mouth Blondie next door to me, filed a complaint while I was walking on my own driveway. This is all in 2018. The hockey club participated in a tournament in Toms River, New Jersey, number 15. The team was comprised of 8 police officers, 2 of whom were sergeants, and a few civilians. Oh, I know which sergeant that was. One of them was Sergeant Carey. You know, the one that was on my driveway, December 10, 2018. Number 16, March 9, 2018, the team had a game scheduled for approximately 5 p.m. Number 17, just prior to the game, the team was sitting on the bench when Fountain, who was injured and not playing, addressed the team. Number 18, Fountain informed the players, in the presence of his girlfriend, anyone who scores a goal can grab her ass, buttocks, and anyone that scores a hat trick, which is 3 goals, can grab her tits, her breasts. Wow, what a nice boyfriend that is. If you had a boyfriend like that, ladies, women out there, would you stay in that relationship? Please tell me no. 19, during the game, hey, he's prostituting his girlfriend. Number 19, during the game, each time a member of the team scored a goal, Fountain called the player over and ordered them to grab his girlfriend's buttocks or breasts. Number 20, March 10, 2018, the team had 2 games. Number 21, Fountain invited all the players to attend the Miracle Pub for food and drinks afterwards because his girlfriend was the manager there. And the team would be taken care of. I guess that means that they would get free drinks on the Miracle Pub that she doesn't own, that she's a manager there, but she doesn't own it, but she would take care of the team there. Oh, yeah, and while they're squeezing her butt and her boobs. Number 22, plaintiff attended with his wife and approximately 7 other individuals, including Fountain and his girlfriend. Number 23, Fountain began imbibing and became intoxicated and unruly. 24, at one point, Fountain turned to the plaintiff's wife and told her that what he was going to do to his girlfriend. He was going to punish. Okay, I hope this doesn't get taken off. I'm reading this, just YouTube, this is for educational purposes only. I'm reading a lawsuit, okay? At one point, Fountain turned to the plaintiff's wife and told her that he was going to punish his girlfriend's a-hole and blow a load in her face. I kid you not. That's exactly what it says here. Number 25. Plaintiff felt helpless in how to respond to Fountain's unruly behavior given his superior rank. Number 26. For a number of days, plaintiff's raw anger about Fountain's behavior towards his wife festered. I mean, if you're a guy, right, and your wife or your girlfriend encounters somebody like this Fountain creepo dupo and says that in front of your girlfriend or wife, would you feel a little offended? I know, well, first of all, knowing my mouth, I would have just told this asshole off in a heartbeat. Sorry. Sorry. Number 27. Eventually, plaintiff penned an anonymous letter to Internal Affairs regarding the incident and dropped it in the internal mailbox at the MPD. 28 days later, plaintiff reported to Internal Affairs and took responsibility for the letter and asked for a meeting with Internal Affairs and Fountain. Okay, so he was a little afraid. He was scared. So then he owned up to filing that anonymous complaint. 29. During the meeting, Fountain informed plaintiffs that he and his girlfriend had discussed the players grabbing her in a sexual manner on their way to the arena as a way to motivate the team. Wow, what a girlfriend, huh? I'm speechless, guys. Number 30. Fountain also informed plaintiffs that his wife should not have been offended by his comments at Miracle Pub because he saw that she hosted passion parties and or advertised for the same on Facebook. What does one have to do with the other? And a passion party, generally, I'm just going to say they're sex toy parties, and sometimes they're lingerie sex toy parties. But what you do in the privacy of your own home with a bunch of women is very different than being outside in a community public pub and dealing with, a drunken chief of police. Number 31. Fountain further explained that he thought he was amongst friends at the Miracle Club. Oh, yeah, so you're among friends, and you can do or say anything you want, regardless of how offensive and vulgar it is. Number 32. Fountain was shocked that plaintiff dared to report his wholly improper conduct. 33. Fountain immediately informed plaintiff that he was taking his department gun from him because he could not have a friend who would tell on him, and he questioned his mental health. Oh, wow. So now here we are crossing the lines between being a boss and a friend. This is why you don't socialize with your boss. You don't form a little hockey club puck with your boss. You don't go out drinking with your boss. You don't do it, especially if he is a chief of police. Okay, you just don't do it. I hope the hockey club was disbanded, but who knows? Number 34. Fountain instructed plaintiff who was off duty at the time to go home and don't come to work and wait for further instructions like, you are a bad boy. You are bad, bad, bad. You go home and don't come to work, and you wait for further instructions. Like, you're kidding me, right? 35. 3 hours later, Fountain sent an officer with your tax dollars, Manalapan, to the plaintiff's home without justification or cause to confiscate his two personal firearms. One was used for off-duty carry, and another the plaintiff never qualified with and was solely used for home protection. Like, how dare you? 36. April 12, 2018, plaintiff was served with a notice to attend a fitness for duty evaluation. That's a mental health exam. 37. Plaintiff was also immediately suspended. This is pure retaliation, whistleblower retaliation. He was suspended. The plaintiff was not permitted to work any off-duty details as a result of the suspension, losing a substantial source of regular income he regularly relied on. This is a guy that worked there for 21 years. Number 39. On or about April 30th, plaintiff completed the fitness for duty evaluation and was deemed fit for duty. Number 40. Despite plaintiff's fitness for duty, Fountain openly stated that he will go to any lengths to disrupt plaintiff's ability to return to employment. Wow. Talk about vendetta. Talk about vengeful. Talk about retaliation. Talk about a little hissy fit. Wow. And you thought only women did this stuff, huh? No, 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 no. Number 41. In fact, upon information and belief, Fountain informed Manalapan not, get this, not to negotiate a retirement with plaintiff as he would find a way to have him fired. 42. Shortly thereafter, in about June of 2018, and during this time, they're all effing with me too, guys. Fountain took things to a whole new level by attempting to retaliate against plaintiff by concocting a malicious criminal complaint. This is how they do it to you. If they could do this to their own police officers, imagine what they're doing to the divorced single women that own homes in Manalapan. 43. Fountain contacted Manalapan County Prosecutor's Office and told them that the PBA complained to him that plaintiff was misappropriating funds from the PBA through his role as president. Fountain's statements to the MCPO, which is the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office, were patently false. 45. The PBA never lodged such a complaint with Michael Fountain, the former chief of police. 46. Rather, Fountain fabricated the complaint in an effort to further retaliate against plaintiff in an effort to have him fired. Oh, you're kidding. The Manalapan police fabricated a complaint? They fabricated a complaint in an effort to have him fired? Wow. Fake incident reports. Wow. They never do that. Fountain's complaint was so frivolous that the MCPO refused to investigate the matter and instead suggested to the PBA to have their finances double-checked. Number 48, the PBA's informal audit revealed that the PBA's finances were in order and confirmed Fountain's malicious and patently false accusation. Number 49, plaintiff still remains suspended despite being cleared to return to work. 50. Although these are the most recent incidents, plaintiff has been subjected to a series of interactions, run-ins, and issues with Fountain that have caused him ire and provide further context and pattern in the above incidences. 51. For the past 5 years, plaintiff has served as the Police Benevolent Association local president. 52. In his role, plaintiff has brought a dearth of issues and concerns to the attention of Fountain and his administration. 53. As a result of plaintiff speaking out, Fountain and his administration has labeled him an enemy within the MPD. Oh, and that's sort of like what happened when I filed incident reports for the vandalism with proof, with witnesses. Yeah. 54. By way of example, plaintiff informed Manalapan that Fountain had instituted an unauthorized practice through which officers were given, quote unquote, administrative days in lieu of overtime pay. Wow. 55. Manalapan was unaware that Fountain has instituted this policy and practice and addressed the matter with him. As a result, Fountain pulled plaintiff aside and lambasted him for sharing such information with Manalapan. 57. More specifically, Fountain slammed his wallet on the desk in front of him and screamed at the plaintiff that his badge is bigger than plaintiff. And who was he to notify Manalapan about a practice that was a secret amongst the members of the Manalapan Police Department? Wait a minute. Here you go. It's a secret. It was a secret. How dare he talk about their secrets? How dare he disclose the secrets of the Manalapan Police Department? In addition, Fountain was responsible for permitting an off-duty scheme that bilked thousands of dollars from the hands of unknowing contractors. You hear that? Contractors. So that Fountain and his inner circle within the MPD could line their pockets with thousands of dollars. Oh, I think that has to do with the watch list. Placing unsuspecting people on the list. Bilking thousands of dollars from the hands of unknowing contractors so that Fountain and his inner circle, like Thomas Mantle, his inner circle within the Manalapan Police Department could line their pockets with thousands of dollars. 59. Plaintiff, as he was duty-bound to do, reported the scheme to Internal Affairs Captain, who reported the complaint to Fountain. Now, at the time, the captain was Ed Neese. Ed Neese is now the current chief of police. And he was complicit in knowing that they falsified police reports against me and other people, like their own police officer, Edward Hedden. 60. Fountain believes and continues to believe that his officers are behooved to him, and any threat to his authority was treasonous. Number 61. Indeed, Fountain viewed plaintiff's complaint to Internal Affairs about the off-duty scheme as an act of high treason. Well, actually, it was a criminal act. Michael Fountain, former chief of police, you should be in prison. Number 62. Fountain has a long history of retaliating against officers who he believes to have betrayed or disrespected him. 63. In 2016, when Fountain made captain, 3 officers did not attend his promotion ceremony. Oh, well, the next week, all 3 officers were removed from their selected shifts. Well. Also in 2016, Fountain, along with other officers, including plaintiff, created the hockey club mentioned above, which had close ties and association with the MPD, Manalapan Police Department. Number 66. One of the founding officers decided to leave the hockey club and join another club. Fountain took great offense to the officer jumping ship. In response, Fountain removed the officer from the midnight shift and placed him on the swing shift to purposely interfere with his ability to devote time to the new hockey club. Wow, that sounds so girly. I hate to say it. It sounds such a girly thing to do. Sounds like a little girly thing. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm a woman, but I know this is shit that women do, okay? Not something that men do. Fountain's paranoia about the officer joining another hockey club did not end there. In 2017, when the same officer called out sick, Fountain ordered his officers, in contravention of policy and procedure, to drive to Hackensack, New Jersey, which is at least an hour away, in effort to catch the officer at the hockey arena and not home in bed. Unsurprisingly, Fountain's henchmen, with your tax dollars, when they should be fighting some crime, did not find the officer at the arena, but rather at home, sick, where he said he was. Number 72. Attempting to catch officers who Fountain disliked violating the MPD sick day policy was common practice. Wow. Meanwhile, in an incident report, they thought that I was being paranoid for reporting a crime. Yeah, like when my house was broken into. Guess who's calling the kettle black? This is what happens when you're dealing with a narcissist. This is all projection. This guy is a sick effer. So Fountain's unauthorized investigation served no legitimate purpose and was contrary to well-settled policy and procedure. Fountain kept pictures of the officers in surveillance locations which were covered and concealed. Indeed, Fountain's private and undocumented investigation of these officers was baseless and only intended to harass those he deemed enemies. 77. Upon information and belief, Fountain has bragged about maintaining undocumented files on many officers which contain quote-unquote dirt that he can use as leverage in the event an officer complains about anything. Oh, he would never do that to the divorced women in the neighborhood. Right, Michael Fountain? You would never do that by having your little henchmen place innocent people on your blacklist, watch list, so that you can bilk thousands of dollars with your contractors, your private contractors, right? Fountain, has created totalitarian culture within the MPD that chills officers from speaking out or complaining about him or his administration by threatening retaliation or other punishment in total contravention of policy and procedure. Plaintiff's situation recently came to a dire head when he was informed that if he did not retire, he would be brought up on administrative charges which Fountain and Manalapan know are bogus in an effort to terminate his employment. Wow. Sounds very This is a narcissist revenge. Number 80, Fountain's belief that MPD is his own fiefdom has created a culture in which silence and acquiescence are the only methods of survival. The first cause of action is a hostile work environment, law against discrimination. Plaintiff repeats and reiterates the allegations contained in paragraphs 1 through 80 as though set forth herein at length, and plaintiff was subjected to harassment. The said harassment was pervasive and or severe. Plaintiff was detrimentally affected by the harassment. The harassment and discrimination was of a type of nature that altered the plaintiff's conditions of employment so as to make the same hostile or abusive. Defendants, Manalapan and Manalapan Police Dept are responsible and liable for this conduct under the doctrine of respondent superior. As a direct and proximate result of said conduct, plaintiff was caused to suffer economic harm and loss as well as emotional injury, distress, pain, and suffering. The second cause of action, retaliation. The law against discrimination. Number 88, plaintiff repeats and reiterates the allegations contained in paragraphs 1 through 87 as set forth herein at length. Plaintiff's reasonable and good faith complaint to Internal Affairs about Fountain's improper and harassing conduct constituted a protected activity pursuant to New Jersey's law against discrimination. Plaintiff's suspension subsequent to the making of such complaint constitutes an adverse employment action. Plaintiff's complaint to Internal Affairs about Fountain's improper and harassing conduct was causally connected to and a motivating factor in plaintiff's subsequent suspension. Number 92. Likewise, plaintiff's complaint to Internal Affairs about Fountain's improper and harassing conduct was causally connected to the false criminal allegations that Fountain attempted to have lodged against plaintiff in an effort to have him terminated. And as a direct and proximate result of said retaliatory conduct, plaintiff was caused to suffer economic harm and loss as well as emotional injury, distress, pain, and suffering. The third cause of action, individual liability, the law against discrimination. Plaintiff repeats and reiterates the allegations caused in paragraphs 1 through 93 as set forth herein and at length. Number 5, defendant Fountain participated in the unlawful harassment and or retaliation directed towards the plaintiff. Defendant Fountain substantially assisted defendants, the Manalapan and the Manalapan Police Department, in allowing, permitting, and directing unlawful harassment and or retaliation directed towards plaintiff. This was workplace mobbing. As a direct and proximate result of said conduct, plaintiff was caused to suffer economic harm and loss as well as emotional injury, distress, pain, and suffering. The fourth cause of action, the Whistleblower Act. The Conscientious Employee Protection Act, which is CEPA. The plaintiff repeats and reiterates the allegations contained in paragraphs 1 through 97 as set forth herein at length. Number 99. Plaintiff was retaliated against because he reported Fountain sexually charged and wholly improper actions and behavior that plaintiff, the former police officer, believed to be in violation of the rules and regulations promulgated by law. And more specifically, plaintiff was retaliated against by Fountain when he was suspended without justification or cause, subjected to a fitness for duty examination, and had his service and personal weapons taken from him because he reported Fountain for sexually harassing his wife and ordered members of the hockey club to touch his girlfriend in a sexually charged manner. 101. Plaintiff was retaliated against for reporting Fountain's unlawful conduct when 1. Plaintiff was forced to submit to a fitness for duty exam. 2. Plaintiff was forced to turn over his firearms. 3. Plaintiff was suspended. 4. Fountain maliciously attempted to lodge false criminal accusations against plaintiff. And 5. Plaintiff was given an ultimatum to retire or face false administrative charges. 102. Indeed, all of these retaliatory actions occurred as a direct result of plaintiff complaining about Fountain's conduct. Prayer for relief. Wherefore, plaintiff demands a judgment be entered against the defendants jointly and severally for any and all damages sustained by the plaintiff arising from the foregoing wrongful and unlawful acts of the defendants, punitive damage, interest, both pre-judgment and post-judgment, attorney fees, costs, and all other such relief as the court may deem appropriate, equitable, and just. This was dated September 19, 2018. 3 months before my medical kidnapping by Lieutenant Thomas Mantle, the former Effer Chief of Police, Edward Neese, Sergeant Carey, Officer Joyner, Tina Booth, who broke into my house, and Officer Casella. This was the law officers of Joel Silberman. Jury demands. Plaintiff hereby demands a trial by jury on all issues triable as of the rights by jury herein. It's signed by several attorneys. Designation of trial counsel. They're designated as trial counsel for the above captioned matter. Demand for production of insurance agreements. There you go. Pursuant to R4:10-2B, demand is hereby made that you disclose to the undersigned whether there are any insurance agreements or policies under which any person or firm carrying on an insurance business may be liable to satisfy all or in part of a judgment which may be entered in the action, or to indemnify or reimburse for payment made to satisfy the judgment. And if so, please attach a copy of each, or in the alternative state under oath and certification, the policy number, the name and address of the insurer, inception and expiration date, the names and addresses of all persons insured thereunder, personal injury limits, personal property limits, and medical payment limits. Certification. I certify the foregoing statements made by me are true. I'm aware that any of the foregoing statements made by me are willfully false. I am subject to punishment. Signed by all the attorneys. Civil case information. This is a docket, in case you want to look it up. L, as in Larry, hyphen 003389-18. The case installation date was 9/17/18. The type of case was law against discrimination, LAD cases. Document type, New Jersey E-Courts case. Installation confirmation, jury demand, yes, 12 jurors. Let's see what else you need to know here. The plaintiff was Edward Hedden, Hedden. They demand the primary insurance company's information, which was unknown at the time. Do parties have a current, past, or recurrent relationship? Yes. It's an employer-employee relationship. Does the statute governing this case provide payment of fees by the losing party? Yes. Use this space to alert the court to any special case characteristics that may warrant individual management. Do you or your client need any disability accommodations? No. Will an interpreter be needed? No. I certify that confidential personal identifiers have been redacted from documents now submitted to the court and will be redacted from all documents submitted in the future according to Rule 1:38-7B. Oh, my roosters are having a hissy fit. So, there you go, boys and girls. So, anyway, I took some notes, so I'm just going to go over these quick notes. Roosters, please, calm it down. Hedden versus Manalapan Township, Michael Fountain, Chief of Police. My notes is, this is a Manalapan, New Jersey officer, Hedden, filing a lawsuit against the Chief of Police, Michael Fountain, Manalapan Police Department, Manalapan Township. The officer mentions the chief's unruly, drunken behavior, sexist behavior, utilizing the police department financial resources for off-duty fun activities. More importantly, when the officer spoke out against these things to internal affairs, he became targeted, harassed, and his employment was terminated. He was suspended. And item was 2433. His gun was taken away from him for reporting the chief to internal affairs. The officer's mental health was questioned when the chief ordered a fitness for duty evaluation. Oh, well, this sounds familiar. When I filed complaints that my house was broken into, they did the same thing to me. Chief Fountain refused to permit him back to work and ordered 2 police officers to go to his home and remove his firearms. The chief retaliated and fabricated a complaint against the officer for filing a complaint against him with internal affairs. Then Fountain filed a complaint with the prosecutor's office. In item 18, he told the officers, hockey players, that anyone who scores a goal can grab his girlfriend's ass, and anyone that scores a hat trick, 3 goals, can grab her tits. Fountain's vulgarity towards Hedden's wife stated that he would punish his girlfriend by blowing a load in her face. Item 53, Hedden was labeled an enemy within the Manalapan Police Department. They disclosed the secret practices among the Manalapan Police Department. Secret practices. Shh. It's a secret. Secret practices inside the Manalapan Police Department. The chief engaged in off-duty schemes with contractors. They were bilking thousands of taxpayer dollars with off-duty schemes with contractors. It was their little secret. Threats to the chief's authority was deemed treasonous. Officer Hedden's complaint to the Internal Affairs was deemed an act of high treason. Chief Fountain has a history of retaliating against officers and removed them from their shifts for not attending the chief's award ceremony. The chief's paranoia. This is what happens with alcoholics. They're paranoid. Chief's paranoia about officers' sick days, checking up on them with Township resources. Your tax dollars hard at work. They should be fighting some real crime, but instead, they're checking to make sure that you're actually homesick. Chief Fountain's unauthorized investigations. He kept pictures of the officers in surveillance locations, covered and sealed. Private and undocumented investigations of his officers were baseless, and he deemed his officers enemies. Fountain bragged about maintaining undocumented files on many of his officers that contained dirt that he can use as leverage against them in the event that an officer complains about anything. Read about the causes of actions. This police chief has been harassing me for years and participates and forces his officers to participate in harassing me, Lorraine Valenti, who lived at 52 Sutton Drive, Manalapan, New Jersey, down the block from the Manalapan Police Department. I rest my case. Men and women, boys and girls. So anyway, I look so forward to questions and comments about this piece of crap chief of police who retired and is now replaced by Ed Neese, who was the captain at the time. That captain went to Michael Fountain and reported. He rat snitched the complaint about Fountain and his sexually abusive behavior. So they participated in the workplace mobbing against this officer who had 21 years with the police department. I look forward to your questions and comments down below. This is Lorraine Alternative Homesteading, exposing one corrupt cop at a time. Manalapan Police Department labeled me a terror threat with disorderly conduct for walking on my driveway. In 2018. I'm going to sign off for now and get my birdies to bed. Hope everybody's doing well. Hit the thumbs up.